Hello everybody, I'm Storm here. Welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. In the last episode, we had the plan of achieving a moon flyby, and we made our first attempt, which due to the extra weight that had to be added to the rocket for the life support and additional power generation and batteries and stuff like that, just didn't quite have the delta V to make it to the moon. So we just did a high altitude run, but on our way back we had a bit of a close call with Bob Kerman, where the re-entry capsule flipped around on us nose first, which means it doesn't slow down fast enough as it comes into the atmosphere. So we were at like really high speed at dangerously low altitudes, but fortunately the capsule slowed down enough that we were able to deploy the chutes and, basically turn Bob inside out with G-forces, but, he didn't die. So, that's a win. Then we went through several design iterations to try to improve the rocket, to get the additional delta V needed to get that moon flyby we wanted. We kept having the solid rocket boosters impact the first stage of the central stage main engine, so I had to abort a couple of launches. So ultimately decided to go with the larger diameter fuel tanks and engines for that first stage, just to brute force it, and we're able to run the full moon flyby mission. In fact, we had enough delta V to insert the lunar orbit, or the moon orbit, and perform some orbital maneuvers to maximize the amount of science that we were able to bring home, and we got over 400 science points when we landed and retrieved the vessel. So, that's good. We have lots of science points to unlock things with, but before we do that, we're going to go ahead and run another mission, and this mission is going to be to attempt a Minmus flyby using the exact same rocket we just used for the moon flyby, because it had more than enough delta V to do everything we wanted at the moon. In fact, I was able to, really, the maneuvers that I did in moon orbit were not the most efficient way I could have done them. So, what I've gone ahead and done is actually launched a new rocket already and put it in orbit. The same design that we had before. So let me go ahead and fly that vessel. Because, we already proved that this thing is more than capable of getting into orbit successfully with enough delta V to do things we want to do. So I went ahead and just put it in orbit. Or, well, I flew it into orbit. So here we are. I'm bringing Bob along this time. I wanted to actually hire another scientist because I kind of wanted to give Bob more time to rest after his ordeal, but there weren't any more scientists available in the astronaut facility, so, Bob's up. Alright, so getting to Minmus is a bit trickier than the moon, because it is at a different orbital angle. It's at a different plane. So we have the moon, which is right on the equatorial plane, but Minmus over here is at an angle. So we're going to have to do a plane change maneuver before we attempt our transfer. So what I want to do is set that as target, and that gives us ascending nodes and descending nodes for our orbit compared to Minmus's orbit. So is it at those nodes that we want to attempt the plane change? So let's go ahead and add a maneuver at the ascending node. I believe we're going to want to burn this way. And we're going to want that node to reduce to 0. Or as close to 0 as we can get. That will probably do. Alright, so we have a 17-second burn to perform in 13 minutes. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and tell Bob to orient the ship to that maneuver. And since it is a 17-second burn, that means it's going to be slightly under 9 seconds, or T-minus 9 seconds, so we're going to want to initiate the burn. So let's go ahead and time warp to it. Have to be careful because I don't want to overshoot. Alright. We're at 30 seconds. And this is going to be a real quick burn. Ten, 9, do it. 11, 10, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and cut off. What's the nodes look like? 0.1 degrees. That doesn't seem like much, but hopefully it's not too much because, well, distances and angles get magnified. Well, the offsets and angles and everything get magnified over distance, so. Alright, so we're going to want to try and get this. Now, I have to remember exactly when in the relative orbit we want to try this burn. I think that's right about there. Well, let's just get the maneuver node. There we go. We have our encounter. It's not completely a free return trajectory, but we're going to end up at a periapsis of 235,000 meters, which I think is pretty good. It's going to take 885.8 meters per second of delta V. We have 1,300 meters per second in the tank, so that should be fine. Alright, let's orient to the new node. And it's going to be a 55-second burn in 19 minutes. So, let's see. That's going to be 27.5 seconds. Then we're going to want to start the burn as we're as close to as we can. Alright, so let's go ahead and get ourselves to the node. $27.5, right? Yes. Don't want to overshoot. So bring ourselves down to about 40 seconds. There we go. I'm probably going to want to bring up the science helper there. Three, two, one, and let's give it a little extra juice. Okay. Let's see where our orbit actually ended up. Not quite there. Let's see. Oh, that was a little bit too much. I could flip us retrograde, try and fine-tune this just a little bit, but I don't want to burn too much delta V. Okay. That is actually collision. And that is actually somewhat of a free return trajectory. It's way too aggressive. Gives us 170,000 meter periapsis for Minmus. I'll take it. Alright, so we just need to get out of Kerbin's shadow. Lots of life support. All right, so let's go ahead and kick this up. Electric charge is good. Mulch is filling up. Yeah, we're kind of going high and then coming back in. Not the most efficient approach, but it works. Let's see, there's Minmus. As it approaches. Alright, there we are. Let's slow it down. Alright, temperature scan. We've seen the temperature scan stuff. They're all pretty much the same. Mystery goo observation. Let's see. You feel like eating the goo. Ugh. Material study. The samples react to the lack of an atmosphere. Alright. Crew report. You note that your radio fails to transmit when set to the off position. Well, that's odd. Atmospheric pressure scan. The instrument reads 0. Yes. Okay. EVA report is next. Okay. So where is the... Alright, let's just rotate the rocket a little bit. Let's go ahead and EVA. Oh, we're spinning. Hold on. Let's see if we can't restabilize the rocket. Little trick there, just time warp for a second and zeroes out all the rotations. Alright, let's EVA. Take the data, store the data. Alright. Let's take our EVA report. It looks so small and yet so delicious. Store the experiment. And then let's go ahead and reset the materials bay as we did before. This is the first time for Bob, though. Collect the data. Restore the experiment. And then reboard. Okay. The question becomes, how much delta V will we need to establish an orbit? Can't establish. Control locked. Why is control locked? Odd. I guess because he's not a pilot? No, but I can control. Alright, weird. I would like to do a close... I'd like to get really close. Why won't it add maneuver? Alright, well let's kind of let it approach periapsis for a little bit. Maybe I actually do need a pilot on board to do that. Or be within communications range. I guess Bob can't do maneuver nodes by himself. Okay. Well, I guess we're just gonna have to fly by the seat of our pants then. Alright, let's bring it in close to periapsis. We are on retrograde. We have 33 days of food left. Alright. Alright, I'm going to swing around to apoapsis here. And then I'm going to lower the periapsis, because that's the more efficient way to do it. I don't want to spend too much time out here, because we are on the clock, so... Alright, so apoapsis height, that's for... No, periapsis height, 174,000. I want to get that down to about 10,000 meters or so. That's coming down real quick. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. That is barely using any. 2. Alright. 8,400 meters. That is going to be a real close flyby. I don't think we're going to hit anything. Oh, there's the moon. Right there. Almost close enough to touch. And there we are. Now we're at the low altitude. So we can get another pile of science here. Actually, going to want you oriented prograde. We want our temperature scan. Minmus is cold. Ice cream is cold. Coincidence? You hope not. Mystery goo observation. The goo sticks to the Minmus side of the container. It appears to be attracted to the tiny moon. You wonder if the goo is hungry too. The joke is that it looks like mint ice cream. Alright, material study. The high radiation environment caused a few of the samples to glow. It looks like it would be fun to paint the rocket with this. Alright, new crew report. You wonder if it's possible to EVA to the surface and back. It probably is. Atmosphere pressure scan. And then let's do EVA. Minmus has extremely low gravity. Makes it very easy to land on. Relatively. I should say relatively easy to land on. Alright. EVA. EVA report. You are craving mint ice cream right about now. Alright. Store those experiments. I don't think we have any more of these to get, but I'm going to go ahead and reset the materials bay anyway. Well, I need to recover the data because we're going to ditch it. At the very least. And then restore it. A new EVA report? I guess. EVA report. You need to do something about the lack of snacks here. Alright. Bored. Okay, so yeah, I guess those EVA reports are biome specific. Alright, let's go ahead and prograde. And then let's see if we can get ourselves on a return trajectory. Oh, that is the wrong... I hit tab. So we got to tab through all the various bodies that hopefully we're going to be able to visit. Alright. Okay, we are escaping. Let's try and make this somewhat... Oh, we could do a moon encounter from this position. Interesting. Alright, periapsis. I want to be actually somewhere about 30,000 meters returning from here. There we are. Okay, because I want to spend more time in the upper atmosphere braking. All right. We have 29 days of supplies left. The trajectories mod is having some trouble trying to figure out where we're going to end up. That's all those white and red lines there. Okay, there's Kerbin. And the moon. Gonna wait till we're about there. Just under 100. Alright, so I want to go ahead and release. And then put us in a retrograde orientation. And then begin re-entry. Which I'm actually going to kick that up to 4 times speed. Oh, hold on. That's a tank blowing up. Okay. It's probably actually the solar panels on that stage that are violently disassembling. Alright, heat shield is doing fine. Saying we're going to land pretty well. Then we are going to come down over land, but it looks like it should be okay. Should aim for those lakes. Alright, let's just accelerate. Actually, I don't necessarily want to do that. Being under acceleration while physics is processing can get a little weird sometimes, so we'll just let it. Ablator is fine. Yep, we're under 1,200 meters per second. And at 20,000 meters of altitude, so yeah, we are doing great. I can probably turn off the stability assist, because this thing should be stable. I mean, we've done it once already, so. Okay, here's where I'm going to time accelerate. Get it down to about 280 meters per second. Deploy the chutes. And we're coming down over a little piece of mountain. Oh boy. Of all the things... Then, well, I think I'm actually going to keep the heat shield attached, because that could provide a little extra weight. And if we do break something, it's just going to be the life support container. We're at 4.7. That should be plenty slow enough. And it does not look like we are coming down over a slope. Because the bad deal would be if you came down on like one of these steep slopes of the hill, mountain. Because then you could hit and then end up rolling down the mountain and things could get unpleasant from there. Alright, let's get it to the ground. And I may actually have some science to do upon landing. Nope, apparently not. Even if I EVA? Surface sample? No, apparently I already got that. Never mind. Alright, well let's go ahead and recover the vessel and see what we got. $494 science earned, which brings us up to 912 science. Excellent. That should get us a bunch of new stuff. Okay. Done. Let's go ahead and see what we can unlock. First thing I want to do is get some better command modules. So let's go ahead and hit that. This gets us some different life support tanks. Simple command modules. There's nothing that goes in there because I guess we don't have any mods that fit in that particular category. Let's go ahead and grab this. Yes. Let's grab this because this gets us some solar panels. Recycling. Recycling module. Storage technology. Miniaturization gets us some separators. Space exploration. What does this get us? Hitchhiker storage container. Mobility enhancer. It's a ladder. A rover wheels. Okay. Some cargo storage units. A service airlock. Alright, some habitation modules. I guess we're starting to try to build a space station. Advanced flight controls gives us some RCS thrusters. That might not be a bad idea. Landing. Launch escape system. Landing struts. Very good. Let's get the landing stuff. Let's get the aviation, which gets us some Aerodynamics gets us a bunch of intakes and engines for aircraft. Payload adapter. Procedural truss payload adapter. That could be interesting. Advanced construction. Bunch of interstage adapters, some stack decouplers. I'm gonna need those. Propulsion systems. Chickadee landing engine. Hummingbird landing engine. LV-95 orbital maneuvering engine. Baguette external tank. Some interesting stuff there. Heavier rocketry. That gets us some new engines. Advanced fuel systems. Which gets us other fuel tanks. Actuators. I think what we're going to do is we're going to go for the heavier rocketry. Grab that. Though I do need to start getting a bunch of these things before we advance too much further. Okay. I think we've unlocked about as much as we can for the moment. So, the next project is going to be landing on the moon and Minmus. That is going to be the next project. So, how do we want to do that? Do I have any docking ports? I'm not sure I actually have unlocked any docking ports yet. Lights, life support, containers. Procedural thrust plate adapter. No. No, it does not look like I have any adapters. So we're going to have to do a heavy lander where the upper stage, the service, basically the kind of the service module that goes with us to the moon is also the lander. Okay. So let's start with a command pod. Let's see, how many crew? Crew capacity 2. This is a crew capacity of 3. So I could bring a pilot and a scientist and an engineer with this command pod. So I think we'll go with this command pod. Alright. It is going to need to bring experiments with it, and the way I typically like to do this is we are going to bring Science Junior attached to the top. And then we're going to put cargo containers. Oh, that's a 2.5 meter science bay. I don't think we need that. Now, this little service bay has been more than adequate. I don't think we have any other science experiments that really require the extra space. Let's see, I am going to bring 4 goos. Just so I don't have to worry about resetting them. 4 thermometers. And the same thing for barometers. Alright. It is going to look a bit odd. Let's go ahead and get a parachute. There's going to be a real chute, cone chute on top of that. think I might even throw some radial chutes on there as well, just to make sure this thing can slow down. Okay. We are going to need a heat shield, I believe. 2.5 meter heat shield. There you are. And this is everything that's coming back. So we're going to need the 2.5 meter stacked coupler. Yeah, we want the shroud there. Okay. So now the thing that is going to land. What are we going to do with that? That's not what we're looking for. Okay, let's go with this tank. What kind of engines do we have available now? We have some cryogenic rocket engines. Orbital maneuvering engine cluster. That's interesting. .32 meters per second. Integrated fuel tanks. So that doesn't actually pull off of that tank? That's interesting. Now that gets 1700 meters per second with those. I was looking for something a little bit lower profile, because we are going to have landing legs on this. Well, let's see. Ground. These landing struts, are they long enough? Not really. Procedural thrust plate adapter. Size 2.5 meter. So if I try to put engines on here, what would that look like? I see. Side nodes. See, that puts the side nodes out there. If we went with a fairly small engine, that appears not to work. Let's see, what type of fuel does this use? Oh. It uses monopropellant. Well, that's interesting. Okay, if I switched this to monoprop, can I even switch it to monoprop? Liquid fuel, liquid flow and oxidizer, liquid hydrogen and oxidizer, just liquid hydrogen, just oxidizer. Okay. So I guess I cannot put monopropellant in there. What if I want a cryogenic engine? $744 meters per second. Yeah, that's not going to work. Okay, well, do I have a monopropellant tank that is large, that is, well, big enough? That is liquid fuel and oxidizer. Does not have options for monopropellant. This is taking far longer than I thought it would. I don't see any monopropellant tanks in here at all. Okay then. I'm not sure we have the parts we need. I might have to scrap this and redesign it until we get some better parts. Alright. Change of plans. Change of plans. We're going to have to go with this smaller capsule still. And just to make sure that I do not have docking ports. No, I do not. Okay, that's going to have to be a priority. Let's see, this is a two-man command pod. Is that still 2.5 meters? No, it is not. Is it 1.25 meters? It is. Okay, that could work. That could work. Okay. Let's see if we still bring the Science Junior, it's going to be that large. Alright, so we're going to go with a similar design. We're going to put that service bay on here with the science experiments in it. Okay. Close that up. Put the heat shield on it. Thermal, thermal, there's thermal. Heat shields. Decoupler. Do just trying to see, do I have service bay with explosive doors? Interesting. No, I don't have anything that I could put on top of here. Yeah, we'll have to stick with this parachute. And those side chutes. Okay, actually these are... See, the thing is, I don't trust that chute by itself. Oh well, I'm just going to put that on there. It'll cover the flag, but that's just kind of what it is. Alright, then you go there. Alright, and then for fuel tanks, I think I actually am going to go with the hydrogen tank. Let's see. I want to fit this in a fairing. I'm going to go with this method. Let's see. Procedural fairing base. No. Well, that's going to need to have an engine on it, of course. What did it just do? That was weird. Okay. Let's finish building this thing out first. Let's see, if we're going for a cryogenic engine, we're talking like something like that. Or something more like that. And then if I wanted to give it some extra delta V, I could throw some of these radial tanks on there. Okay. Okay. And then for landing, we're going to need the landing legs. Those should be long enough. Actually, can I put them out here on those. That would look a little strange, but it would give me a wider base when I land. So that might be the better idea. Okay, we'll go with that. That's 2,400 meters per second of delta V. That should be plenty to land, take off, and return. So yeah, I just need to get this thing into a fairing, so I gotta figure out how these fairings work. See, procedural fairing base. Can I... I can only make it 1.5 meters. No, that isn't going to work. Domed interstage base. Fairing auto shape, fairing. So I guess that auto shapes. I guess it does. But do I have a fuel tank that... Yeah, because that is bigger than any of the fuel tanks we have, so that doesn't really work. Expanded fairing base. Okay. No, again, we don't have the actual fuel tanks that are that size. And I don't think we have any adapters that are that size either. So a fairing may not be an option. So if I went with an adapter like that, and then we put on that propulsion system, that gets us 2,300. Then I need enough oomph to get this thing into orbit. Okay. I think I can do that. It's gonna look weird without the fairing, but it just doesn't work right now. Let's see, what's the thrust to weight on that? 1.2. That will have to be the one we use. This is going to be a fairly large vehicle. It's probably too large. the skiff. Yeah, that's not enough. That's not enough. That's an orbital maneuvering engine cluster. Mainsail. That's enough. Okay. And I think that there were fuel tanks. Yes, these. Okay. So I need the radial decouplers. Which we're going to bring down there. And we throw those on there, and then we put engines. Those engines on there. 1.17. Is that enough? I guess because these, yeah, not enough thrust. None of these are really... Yep, it's going to have to be these. And that is ridiculous. But that's what's going to happen. All right. So let's go ahead and get the clamps on there. Let's make sure we put some fins on there just for some extra stability. And let's check the staging. Alright, we're going to want that on there. Those are the separation engines, so they're going to fire when we drop those. And that main engine is going to fire. Then this one. Then that one. Oh, there's no decoupler there. Good thing I double checked, or that would have been bad. Alright, so then that one decouples and that one fires. Alright. So this is a radical shift in design. So we're going to call this Dagger 1. Save. Oh, we need life support, don't we? We do. We do need life support. Life support tank 2.5. 3.75. Yeah, we don't need that. We just need... crew. 23 days. That should be fine. Though I could also throw a little bit of extra supplies in there. That'll get us up to 41 days. Okay. I'm also missing batteries and solar panels. Right. Right. See, can I get some batteries into the service bay? Yes, a couple batteries in the service bay. Actually, that's only one. Two. I want 2 batteries in the service bay. There we go. And we're going to want solar panels. There. Alright, I'm going to want to set an action group. To toggle solar panels. There we go. Alright. Do I want an antenna on this thing? No, I think we'll be fine. As long as we have a pilot. Alright, speaking of, who's going? I think Jeb is going to go. Bill just flew, so we're going to bring Dealey Kerman along on this flight as a scientist. Alright, let's save it. And I have no idea if this thing is going to work at all. Alright. Well, let's go see what it does. I've never used these cryogenic engines before, so no idea what they're going to do. Okay, are we just firing those 4, then waiting to fire that one? Actually, I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to fire the center one as well. Okay. Stability assist on. And launch. And we screwed that up. Oh well. Because it fired the separator motors on the first stage. Which is not what I wanted to do, because it's going to have trouble pushing those things away. So if we lose the center booster... oh boy. Then, oh yeah. Definitely having to think about it. Alright, booster separation. that worked pretty well. Though in the future, we'll have to make that adjustment. Alright, we're going to need to start turning over here. This thing is most likely way over-designed. Or not. I don't know. We'll see. Alright, we have an apoapsis above the atmosphere. Let that thing clear. Alright, and let's cut off. Let's get a maneuver set up for our orbital insertion. 1400 meters per second. Good. Angle for the node. Oh, I don't have any reaction wheels on here. Other than the one in the actual cockpit. In the capsule. That's got to be something I got to think about. 1 minute 34 seconds, which is 47 seconds. Is when we want to initiate the burn. Or T minus 47 seconds. Yeah, we got way more delta V than we need. Alright, and... well, I'm going to wait till this burn is over before I deploy the solar panels. And get ready for our engine cutoff. And now. Alright. We're a pretty good, relatively circular orbit. Alright, we still have 2,000 meters per second of delta V in that tank. So I can probably replace this tank with a smaller tank. Alright. Or is it? Oh, no, 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 no. This staging is all messed up. No, we have 59 meters per second of delta V in the current tank. So actually that tank was perfect. I'm reading this wrong. We have 4,200 meters per second in the entire vehicle. Okay, so we can ditch that tank. Get that engine ready to go. And let's plan our moon transfer, which we are probably actually right where we need to be. Are we right where we need to be? Go prograde. Prograde. Because we should see the moon in just a second. Yes. As you can see, the moon rising that should be when you can start your burn. So let's see to the pan set and let's see how it goes. Let's see, we are 0.3 degrees off of the plane, which is pretty good for manually flying that launch. We are pretty much right where we need to be. Let's throttle back a little bit. There's our approach. 96,000 meters. Perfect. All right, so accelerate. Oh. I almost forgot. Electric charge is out. Get those solar panels deployed. Like I said, we are in the shadow of the planet. We're going to be in the shadow of the planet for a little bit. There we go. Electric charges. Back up. Okay. That was almost a disaster. Okay. So here we are, we're in orbit. Let's set up our maneuver to circularize. They are 242 meters per second. Hold the maneuver node. So we have a 23-second burn, which is 11.5 seconds. And we want to start the burn. Okay. There, go. And there we are. We're close enough anyway. All right. So we need to pick a landing spot. We need to pick a landing spot. I'm going to come down into one of the craters. Yeah, I think we might. So let's go ahead and set up another maneuver node to bring us on a very low approach over that crater. Right? So I want this to be in daylight when we land. And actually, I am going to go ahead and create a quick save. So I did say that I'm going to let myself do that. Warping to the node. 3, 2, 1. This is right about 2 seconds, and it's going to last for 4 seconds. Four, 3, 2, 1, and 0. Okay. Current trajectory is bringing us low over the crater. Alright, let's go ahead and warp us around and prepare for finding a landing spot. And this is where things get really tricky. Okay, let's set us retrograde. We are moving. We have 600 meters per second of delta V to burn off. I have 1,000 meters per second in the tank. Alright, now I am on manual. Alright, let's rotate it so that I know kind of how I'm oriented. And let's begin burning it off. And kill the engine, and then drop it. Okay. Cryogenic engine is active. In the gear. Okay. Now I know that a suicide burn, which is where you let it go to the last possible second and then burn as hard and fast as you can, is the most efficient way of doing this, but it's also, you know, not exactly the easiest thing in the world to do. So I'm just going to try and keep things at a relatively slow speed. Let's see, how far do we have to go? Slow it down. No, don't want to drift. Don't want to. Oh, too much. Okay. Keep it at about 3 meters per second. Try and bring it. Oh, a little bit more thrust. A little bit more. Not too much. Not too much. Bring us down. And the engine bell is too long. The engine bell is too long. Uh-oh. Okay. I thought I measured that. I guess I didn't. Okay. We're on the surface. I'm surprised that those These guys did not break. Alright, let's retract that solar panel. And let's retract that solar panel. Okay. This is going to be interesting to try to take back off. Alright. Well, let's get our science then. Temperature scan. The inclined angle of the solar radiation at this latitude is a marked effect on the temperature, which you take note of in your report. Okay. Mystery Goo observation. You call the goo a goober. It completely ignores you. So does mission control. Okay. Material study. You keep hoping to see Cary Grant go running through the lab. No such luck. Okay. This would be an awesome spot to film a movie. North by Northwest Crater. Okay. The pressure gauge is sitting there motionless. Perhaps you should tap it a few times to be sure. And we need EVA. So who's going to be EVAing? Who's first out? Jeb? Jeb. All hatches are obstructed. We cannot exit. I'm guessing that the... Yep, there's the hatch. And I can't rotate. I can't rotate. So I can't get out. Of all the things... Like, if I extended one of these, would it actually lift? It it will. Oh, don't roll too hard. Okay, there we go. That should have done it. Okay, Jeb, you're out first. All right, let's take that EVA report. You should have brought your golf club. Alright, surface sample. The ground materials appear to be a combination of basaltic rock and breccia. Alright, let's take data, store data, and let's let go. And, let's go ahead and remove helmet. Plant flag. Plant flag. There we go. Site name. First moon landing. Perfect touchdown. Indeed. Alright, there we go. Now, there's apparently an EVA report we can take that's like... Right, this northwest crater doesn't appear to be as round as some of the other ones. Perhaps the lava cooled unevenly or something. Okay. Ooh. Something goofy going on with Jeb's face. Okay, can we grab it? There we go. Alright, let's climb aboard. And then Dealey Kerman can EVA. And let's get her over here to collect the data. And restore the Science Junior. Alright, don't necessarily want to spend too long on the surface here. Okay. Now comes the tricky bit. Well, getting down safely was the tricky bit, and I'm surprised that this has... nothing is broken. So... this is where things are going to get interesting. Actually, no, I'm gonna let it stop for a second. There went something. 2 of the fuel tanks just went. Alright, so... can I pull up? Can I pull up? Let's see, we need to... we need to ramp this. We need to ramp it. Ramp it. Ramp it. Pull up. Pull up. Stability assist. Okay, I don't really care what trajectory I'm on. Right now. Alright. And kill the engine. Okay. Good. Good. Alright, that works. This is going to be quite the long episode. But it took me way longer to design this rocket than I had anticipated, and I still kind of messed up a little bit. Alright, 400 meters per second on delta V. That should be fine. Okay. Get those, solar panels out. 54 seconds. That is going to be 27. Alright. T-minus 27. Let's get us there. Oh, too much. It'll be fine. As long as we get into some semblance of an orbit. Suffice to say, we will not be going to Minmus with this lander. And we are in orbit. Okay. Now, we need to return to Kerbin, which I think that we're going to want to burn around here. Let's see. We're going to want to burn around that way, I think. Let's see. Where... Counterintuitively, that is actually a better burn. What I'm going to do is we're going to do that burn, and then we're going to do a second burn once we get out of the moon's sphere of influence. An EVA report. Alright. I'll take it. I wonder if it tastes like cheese. Nah, Minmus though. Okay. So, let's get around. So we're going to be 1 T minus 14 seconds. Three minutes, 2 minutes, 1 minute. Let's lock to the maneuver node and engage. Alright. Engine shut off. Let's go ahead and get out of the moon's sphere of influence. And then we're going to make another burn. Well, at apoapsis here. All right, retrograde orientation. Where's Kerbin? There it is. Okay, I want to bring... Oh, it's 2,000 kilometers. We want to bring it down to about, well, somewhere between 30,000 and 20,000 meters. Oh. Way too much. Alright. No problem. We'll just flip back around. We still have sufficient fuel in the tank. Seven, 8, 9, 10. Let's go around 25,000 meters. 2, 3, 4. There we go. All right. So let's go ahead and staging. Jettison. That. And then let's put us on retrograde. And that should be pretty fun when it starts to break up. Nice. Did not disappoint. All right, where's it saying we're going to land? All right, on the ground again. Something in there is getting hot. But we're on a good entry angle, so we should be fine. Blader is fine. Oh, we lost a parachute. But we should have plenty of parachutes remaining. It just means we might land a little crooked, but that shouldn't be a problem. Temperature scan? Really? Okay. Crew report. This looks like a bad place to land. Actually, it doesn't look too bad right now. And I am not doing an EVA report. Not yet, anyway. Alright, once we're rounded down to 280 meters per second, gonna deploy chutes. Accelerate a bit. And let's lose the heat shields, because this is a bit of a heavier vehicle. 5.2 meters per second. Hopefully that's slow enough. We won't lose all of our experiments. Something broke. A couple of our goo containers broke. Alright, well that's not ideal. But the crew survived. That is what is most important. Alright, 442.7 science earned for a total of 515. Everybody returned. Though it wasn't exactly the smoothest of missions. Alright. Well, that ran a bunch longer than I anticipated. But I think we're going to go ahead and end this episode here. So, for now, well, actually, we're going to end the episode here. And then next time, I'm going to redesign this vessel. And we're going to go to Minmus and try and land there. Hopefully do a better job of it. Alright, so for now, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.